Hey and welcome to the Daily Manchester United News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Real Betis joined the race to sign Manchester United winger Facundo Pellistri on loan. One player who seems to have impressed the manager but is still not quite what the manager wants currently is Facundo Pellistri. The Uruguayan made his debut under the former Ajax coach and went on to make 11 appearances across all competitions last campaign. There were question marks surrounding the 21-year-old's future after he failed to make his senior debut for 2 seasons. Despite impressing in the limited chances he got, the €8.5 million arrival from Penarol might find the chances hard to come by next season due to the presence of Amad Diallo and the versatility of both Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount. That is why the club are looking at agreeing a long-term deal with the Uruguay international before sending him out on loan. La Liga side Real Betis, against whom Pellistri shone last season in the Europa League, have thrown their hat in the ring as per Uruguayan radio station VQV. The report reads, Manchester United want to loan Facundo Pellistri again before they intend to give him a contract extension. It's being analysed whether it's best to extend. Betis are one of the teams, along with Twente, where he could be loaned. Ten Hag holds an excellent relationship with his former club Twente, and they could hold a slight edge, but the level of play is much higher in Spain. But Pellestri's two stunts at Alaves did not go according to plan, and Ten Hag might want to keep a closer eye on his development, and the Eredivisie side hold the advantage in that respect. Man United in race to sign Bayern Munich defender Benjamin Pavard. Manchester United could compete with Manchester City to sign Bayern Munich defender Benjamin Pavard, according to Sky Sport Germany. Pavard has been linked with a Premier League move for some time, and Fabrizio Romano has reported that City are interested in signing him. Meanwhile, Bayern are in talks with Pep Guardiola's side over Kyle Walker, and there is a possibility of a swap deal between the clubs in the coming days. Amidst this, Sky Sport Germany claimed that United are also in the race for the 27-year-old. Talks have already taken place with the France international. United recently signed midfielder Mason Mount from Chelsea, and they are now in advanced negotiations to land Inter Milan goalkeeper Andre Onana. After Onana's arrival, the club are likely to focus on the purchase of a marquee striker. Atalanta's Rasmus Højlund is currently the top target for manager Erik ten Hag. A second midfielder and a centre-back could be signed thereafter, but that would largely depend on whether United can recoup sufficient funds from player sales. In our view, United are unlikely to pursue a deal for Pavard, who can play at either right back or centre back. The club don't face any urgency to invest in those positions. The Red Devils may be interested in the €40 million rated star, but we believe the update could be agent-driven, such that City are encouraged to secure a quick deal. With the tight budget at the moment, we simply don't see the club investing on the 2018 World Cup winner. A striker should be the utmost priority after Onana. Man United could make surprise move to sign Dusan Tadic after Ajax contract termination. Manchester United have had a relatively quiet summer transfer window, and they have signed just one player in Mason Mount from Chelsea. Talks are ongoing with Inter Milan for goalkeeper Andre Onana. A deal worth €55 million is expected to be finalized after payment terms are sorted. Following Onana's arrival, the Red Devils are likely to focus on the purchase of a striker, and in our opinion, Tadic could be considered. The 34-year-old is currently a free agent after formally terminating his contract with Ajax yesterday. Tadic's career was transformed under manager Erik ten Hag at Ajax after a mixed spell with Southampton, and a reunion could be on the cards. Of course, United are looking for a marquee centre forward this summer, but Tadic could be regarded as a short-term signing for the Red Devils. With the club working on a limited transfer budget, they may need to recoup funds before they can spend big on a young centre forward. Atalanta's Rasmus Højlund is being considered, but the Serie A outfit currently want a staggering 100 million euros to sanction his departure this summer. United have other alternatives in mind, but we believe Tadic could be signed on a free transfer to provide the manager with an option in a pre-season. The Serbian can play anywhere in the front line. He is predominantly a left winger, but was hugely successful as a main striker in Amsterdam. Last season, he registered 13 goals and 21 assists for Ajax in all competitions, out of which 16 goal contributions came as a center forward. Tadic good passing, good work rate, key passes and finishing skills would make him an ideal stopgap signing for the Red Devils in our opinion. Signing a marquee striker is a must for United, but Tadic would be a good solution as a backup as he is already familiar with Ten Hag's playing style. Harry Kane wants Manchester United, but lack of budget brings others into play. Manchester United urgently need a striker this summer, but budget constraints mean that their first choice target could finally be headed elsewhere. Miguel Delaney of The Independent report that while Harry Kane prefers to come to Old Trafford, that option is off the table because of United's lack of financial resources. In such a situation, the striker has opened himself up to the possibility of moving abroad. Bayern Munich were thought to be leading the race after Bild reported that a secret meeting took place between chiefs at the two clubs. The Bundesliga champions have already had two bids rejected for the England captain, but report says there is a growing optimism a deal can be reached. A club that is looking to hijack that is Paris Saint-Germain, who need a new striker amid doubts over Kylian Mbappe's future and Lionel Messi's departure. United's chances of entering this race look slimmer with every passing day, as Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy is increasingly reluctant to sell his most prized asset to a rival Premier League rival. Kane's preference to stay in England makes sense as he is just 48 goals away from beating Alan Shearer's record of having the most goals in the Premier League history. Erik Ten Hag is also a big admirer of the forward, but the club's restrictive transfer budget means Kane might have to wait for United to seal players and supplement those funds. Even then, there would be no guarantees of a move, as negotiations with Levy are always infamously tricky. Kane's Spurs contract expires next year, and United could have signed him then on a free transfer, but it looks like Kane might want clarity on his future as soon as possible, taking United out of the race for their preferred striker target this summer. Manchester United ready to fork out 60 million euros for AC Milan left-back Theo Hernandez. Manchester United are ready to pay big money to secure one of the shock signings of the transfer window in Theo Hernandez, according to a report from Spain. Vigages divulges that the Old Trafford outfit are willing to part with an astronomical 60 million euros to sign AC Milan's Hernandez. The Red Devils are said to be obsessed with the idea of having the Frenchman in their ranks. Erik Ten Hag has put Hernandez's name on the table in consideration for a transfer to United as part of the club's possible defensive reinforcement. He is viewed as the perfect long-term replacement for Luke Shaw. Vigaches claims that United have had serious shortcomings on the left flank, a situation that remains unsolved even after Tyrell Malacia's arrival from Feyenoord a year ago. There is a need to address this problem and find another guaranteed left back for next season. This is where Hernandez comes in. Vigaches report. The 25-year-old's current contract at the San Siro expires on 30 June 2027, meaning the Serie A giants are not under any real pressure to offload him. However, it's highly unlikely that the Red Devils would pursue Hernandez, as left back is hardly a position that needs strengthening during a summer in which the 20-time English champion positions must be prudent and careful in their spending. Financial fair play limitations and the uncertain takeover situation have required Ten Hag to prioritize which areas of the pitch need to be addressed first. A striker, a goalkeeper, and another midfielder top the Dutchman's list. Vigaches explains that the Reds are not the only top team to be avid admirers of Hernandez. They indicate that he has also slipped into the crosshairs of others European giants such as Paris Saint-Germain. PSG, of course, confirmed the signing of his brother, Lucas, who they got from Bayern Munich in a 45 million euros deal. This is not the first time the Rossoneri man has been linked to United. Last month, the reliable Fabrizio Romano quashed rumors suggesting a move to the theatre of dreams is on the cards for the Milan star. Man United in pole position to sign Sofyan Amrabat. Manchester United are in pole position to sign Fiorentina midfielder Sofyan Amrabat, according to Italian publication Corriere dello Sport. The Morocco international had an impressive 22-23 season for a club and country, and he is now expected to pursue a bigger challenge away from La Viola. Amrabat has already informed the Serie A outfit about his ambition, and the club are prepared to sell him if their current 30 million euros asking price is met. Manchester United are in pole position to sign Fiorentina midfielder Sofyan Amrabat. Corriere dello Sport believe United are now favorites to sign the 26-year-old. Atletico Madrid are no longer in the race due to economic difficulties. Barcelona have not been mentioned by the Italian outlet, but they face the same scenario. The Blaugrana are relying on free transfers to bolster their squad. Meanwhile, Fiorentina have identified Juventus midfielder Arthur as Amrabat's replacement, though the Brazilians' wages are on the higher side for them. They could propose to sign the 26-year-old on loan with a buy option. United recently purchased Mason Mount from Chelsea for £55 million, and they are anticipated to pay an initial £43 million for the signing of goalkeeper Andre Onana from Inter Milan. This would take their spending spree to £98 million. After Onana's arrival, the club could focus on the sales of Fred, Dean Henderson, and Anthony Elanga, such that they can recoup funds for the acquisition of a new number 9. Amrabat would like to work under manager Erik ten Hag after their time together at Utrecht, but as things stand, another defensive midfielder is not a priority for the Red Devils. They could return for him in the final weeks of the transfer window. Erik ten Hag talks to Andre Onana to reassure him of a deal as the goalkeeper empties his locker at Inter Milan. The clock is ticking, and the end game on Man United's arguably most important deal of the summer might be approaching. Italian outlet Gazzetta dello Sport report that manager Erik ten Hag talked to Andre Onana recently to reassure him that the deal to bring him to Old Trafford will be concluded. It says that the Cameroonian returned to training at Inter for the second day to empty his locker and relive memories that led him to a Champions League final in his first and only season at the club. Negotiations for Onana have been reported as practically concluded, with the player already having agreed personal terms with United. The final details are being ironed out, like the structure of payment, the nature of add-ons, and solidarity contributions. Inter would also like the deal to be concluded quickly so they can reinvest the windfall from the sale. The Serie A club is targeting Jan Sommer and Anatoly Trubin for the goalkeeping spot while trying to make Romelu Lukaku's signing permanent. Therefore, the sale of Onana remains a matter of when and not if, as Fabrizio Romano report. There is a willingness from all parties, buyer, seller, and player, to move on as quickly as possible. Manager Erik ten Hag has been the driving force of this deal, going as far as to reject alternatives offered by the club when Onana seemed out of reach financially. The two share an illustrious history at Ajax, which, although it turned frosty later, has bloomed again if the negotiations and Ten Hag's role in them are any indication. It would be of a great relief if the deal for Onana is completed before United depart for their pre-season tour of the USA, as is the preference of the manager. United play their first game on the tour against Olympique Lyonnais on July 19th. and Onana could make his debut then if the deal is concluded in the next 2 days. Bennett Jacobs provides significant update on Man United takeover. The Manchester United takeover saga continues to rumble on, and with just a few weeks left until the start of the 23-24 season, the Red Devils are seemingly no closer to being sold than they were a few months ago. Ben Jacobs gave an update on the situation. He said on Give Me Sport, "The most significant news on the takeover, at least in terms of anything public, is that both groups are working behind the scenes to advance to the point where they are ready to sign if the Glazers choose to proceed." It's not really the update that Man United fans will be looking for at this point, though. They can't honestly say that they are surprised by the way in which the Glazer family are conducting their current business. The real issue will be if they decide not to sell the club at all after bumbling through this entire process. I will be uploading daily Manchester United news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.